What is good, YouTube Nation? The Boom-BapHistorian is here for another album review, and this is going to be the new project from Godfather Don, with the production handled by Spastiks. Godfather Don is obviously, for those that have been around, the dude's been around since the 90s, and it's pretty dope to hear him writing here in 2025. However, he dropped the project in August 30th of 2024. That album was entitled Thesis, and which was one of my favorite projects that came out in 2024. That album is a hidden gem, and I say hidden because not a lot of people are talking about it. And I do think that project is a little better than this project, but this one definitely has some really high moments in it. It's technically 11 tracks, but if you get it on Bandcamp, it's 22 tracks because you get 11 tracks and then the 11 instrumentals. However, there's some interludes, instrumentals mixed in, so it's just not 11. I wish it was just 11 tracks of just straight rhyming. But I'm going to go ahead and go through the 11 tracks and real quick. For as I can tell, there's no features listed. It's just Spastiks on the production, and Godfather Don on the microphone. So we have From the Basement is the intro that leads off the album. Gnosis, Revolution, The Shit, another interlude. You Already Know, Straight from the Gutter, Do It, which is another interlude. Unstoppable, Kick the Ballistic, Space Jam, which is essentially another interlude, and then Beat and a bass line. So that's the 11 tracks that you get. This album is actually, let me just tell you real quick if I can notice, it's on the Godfather Don Bandcamp page. And you can get it for $10.78. It probably is on iTunes. I haven't checked yet if it's on iTunes or Apple Music. I'm sure it is. Again, the release date for this shows 3/28/25. So it technically comes out tomorrow. However, you can purchase the whole album now on Bandcamp. If you want to get it on Bandcamp, which I highly recommend, but if not, then you could always wait for it to come on the streaming services, and it probably hit there tonight. And actually, yeah, I'm on iTunes right now, so it's set to drop on 3/28. So you should be able to pick it up West Coast time, 9 p.m. West Coast time. You'll be able to pick up that record. East Coast time, you're talking midnight. So real quick, I'm going to highlight the tracks on here that I find enjoyable, and then I'll give it the rating. So just real quick, From the Basement, even though it's an intro, it's really dope because, like I said, I'm a fan of cuts when you throw those in. You Already Know is a dope record. Straight from the Gutter, really dope with cuts. Unstoppable, really dope with cuts. Kick the Ballistics is fire with cuts, really dope track. And then Beating the Bassline with cuts. I gave the overall rating of 3.5 mics, so a definitely high rating. I think this is a really dope record. I don't think it's as dope as Thesis, which came out last year. But I think if it was just 11 tracks of straight rhyming and no interludes or anything like that, keep the intro, but if it was just 11 straight, 10 straight tracks after that point, it probably would rate a little bit higher. But nonetheless, 3.5, I think that's a solid rating. This is a solid album. If you're a fan of the production style of Spastiks, it is kind of a jazzy feel, mellow vibe with the boom bap appeal, and of course, that's what you get with this record. And then you just get straightforward, just dope lyricism from the Godfather Don, who still has it. So, phenomenal record. Again, if you haven't heard Thesis, I recommend you go back and check out that record, and then check out the Writer's Delight from Godfather Don and Spastiks, which is set to drop tomorrow. Today, you can get it on Bandcamp. Again, 3.5 mics, dope. Give it a listen. Let me know if you've heard this record. If you have heard this record, let me know what you think. Like, subscribe. Tell what you think of Thesis record. And like I always say, stay tuned. More album reviews coming your way. As I know there's a slew of music that's coming out through the weekend. All right, peace.